everyone. I'm Cherlyn. Everyone calls me Cher, so just please do so too. I come from the University of Houston here in Texas, and I am part of the College of Optometry. I've been here for about a year and a half, and the reason why I'm in Texas, in Houston, is because my lab moved all the way from New York, where we were at the University of Rochester at the Department of Ophthalmology. And so I moved with them. I did my Ph.D. in Singapore, where I grew up. And my current research is really quite interesting. So I study human vision while being in an optometry school, obviously. And for many of us, and when we talk about vision, we think about our eye doctors, right? Our optometrist gives us prescription eyeglasses or contact lenses, and we see well. For some of us who are not so lucky, we think about our ophthalmologist who gives us the surgery that we need for those of us with cataract, for those of us with strabismus, when one eye is deviated from the other. Those are very, very common disorders. So for a huge majority of us, vision is all about our healthy eyes. But there are also some people who think about the brain when we talk about vision. Neuro-ophthalmologists, for example, people who study cognition, machine learning, computer science. And in fact, humans are such visual creatures that at least half of our brain is devoted to processing visual information. And it is only from the brain that we are able to do things like recognize faces, to navigate the environment, to sit in our lecture hall to learn new things. So the eyes are really no good without the brain. And likewise, the brain loses a huge part of sensory information without the eyes. So here's the irony. There is not really much interaction between the eye people and the brain people. But this is what I do. My research bridges the eye and the brain. I study how visual information from the eyes is being used by the brain, and how the brain changes the way it uses that information, if in case the eyes ever change. And we know that our eyes are never perfect. There is always some residual blur, even in people like you and I who do not wear eyeglasses or contact lenses. And the best part is the blur that you have in your eyes is different from the blur pattern that I have in my eyes. And the blur in the left eye and the right eyes are also different. So since humans use both eyes simultaneously, how does the brain make sense of these two blurry patterns that are not the same in the two eyes? For most of us, the brain naturally combines these two into one single view of the world that does not look blurry at all. For others, they either alternate between the eyes or chooses to look out from only one eye. So my question really is, by what logic does the brain decide to combine the two eyes or do otherwise? And how does our lifelong experience determine the brain's decision either to combine or not to combine? So these are the type of questions that I would like to answer with my research. As for why I decided to come to UCI, well, I've always been around eye doctors, back in ophthalmology in Rochester, in optometry here in Houston. The clinical and translational techniques that I use has very well served their purpose in ocular healthcare. But I feel like there is still so much untapped potential in using them to understand the brain. And so, today we start in the eye clinic. Tomorrow we understand the brain. And UCI, specifically the cognitive science department where I will be, provides that rich intellectual platform to develop my research. I feel like it's a great source of collaboration with people over there for learning the topics that I'm just peripherally familiar with right now. And there's also a medical center, the doctors whom I can collaborate with, the patients who are the reason and the motivation for my work. So from my limited interaction with people around UCI, I'm really overwhelmed by the kindness, the support, and the warmth shown to me by people at UCI. And I dare say that I feel like I will be among family, people who speak the same intellectual language and feast on the same intellectual diet. And that is why I chose to be part of the community. So on other things that perhaps you would like to know about me, I would say that that's a good one. Let's say I grew up among cats, and I think I speak meow quite well. So someone once said that I would have become a cat behavioral psychologist if I ever grew tired of human work. And so I think I've had my fair share of cat healthcare as well. And so I'm open to offer any suggestions or any advice if anyone needs it for their cats. Any other information about me, I would say that I'm always open to collaboration. For those of us who are seeing and watching this video right now, if you could think of any research that you would like to talk about with me, I'm very happy to talk. So just shoot me an email. I'm also very open to collaborations, be it medical or not, or just in terms of basic research to understand how the brain processes visual information. I'm interested, of course, in ocular disease and the impact it has on the brain. My buzzwords are stereo vision, binocular vision, neuroplasticity, keratoconus, Fuchs dystrophy, adaptive optics. That's what I do. That's the technique that I use. So just reach out. Thank you.